let's take a look at those four movement faults. So the first thing I'd like to address is, does the athlete possess sufficient range of motion in the shoulders to go overhead with a close grip with the kettlebell? If they do not, the kettlebell is going to end up being in front of the body here. So, okay, we're going to have basically a no rep situation, or a position where we're not finishing the movement, or they're going to pull the kettlebell up using their back, just like we talked about with the Russian swing. The thing to keep in mind is that the American overhead swing leaves off exactly where the Russian swing ends. So it's going to be the same base pattern. We're going to use our hips to propel the kettlebell up. Okay. The next big thing we want to consider is taming the arc, or keeping the kettlebell close. And this is the second problem that I see most people using this style swing possess, is they're not keeping the kettlebell close. Okay, so this is going to kind of be a large carryover to our clean and snatch work we do with the barbell. So we want to not whip the implement away from us with our jump or hip extension as we go through. So what it looks like if somebody's not taming the arc, they're letting the arc, they create this large arc in front of the body and they're trying to finish overhead. It looks like this. Okay, and what we'd rather see is something more like this. So I'm keeping the kettlebell in proximity to my torso. This lets me transfer the explosive movement from my hips directly into the implement. It lets me turn over my reps quicker. So if I'm doing a time set, or I'm working for a time, I'm going to actually improve my overall work capacity there in the long run by just learning to keep the kettlebell a little bit closer. I'm going to get done with the set a little faster and move on to the next exercise. Okay. The third common problem is that the athlete does not extend fully through the body. Okay. So they end up hanging out here with the kettlebell in front, rather than letting the arms come back towards the ears here. Okay. Now I'm not pushing the head through. We're just letting the kettlebell come up towards the top and keeping that spine relatively upright, neutral. It's cool to have some arc there, of course. It's natural. But we don't want to be pulling back with the upper back or the lower back trying to get the kettlebell overhead. This kind of goes back to our first point. Do you have enough physical range of motion to perform the American overhead swing correctly? If not, work on your flexibility, work on your range of motion, work with the Russian swings, come back to it later. Okay. The fourth common problem here is that the athlete's pulling the kettlebell up from the hips. Okay. So just like with the Russian or power swing, we want to use the hips, generate the force. The arms are leading the kettlebell into position. Again, I'm going to lock out, full extended overhead, pardon me. Knee straight, hip straight, shoulder straight. Okay, kettlebell ends right overhead. So let me show you a couple, not fully extended, and then with a nice crisp lockout. And then we'll take a look at pulling, and you'll see there's a very obvious pull with the arms here. It's not a high pull, okay? It's a swing, so it's going to be just like a barbell snatch, just with a close grip. So it's a swing that finishes overhead. So not extended. Kettlebell's out in front of the body. Okay. The other fault here too is that the kettlebell will sometimes dip forward instead of finishing nice and tall and overhead. Okay. And if I pull the bell, you can see my rate of rep, or my reps per minute, is going to slow down dramatically as I try to use my upper body to get the kettlebell in position instead of using my hips. Okay. So those are four most common problems that we see with the American overhead swing. If you like the video, please share it with somebody you think could find it informative. If you have a question, leave it in the comments below, and we'll finish up the series with the sports style swing tomorrow. Thank you.